What is up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is December 10th, 2019, and we're back at again on the charts. And what we assumed yesterday with the consolidation has turned out to be true. And this morning we do have some movement, but a lot of it is not really saying too much. Although for example, gold. You wanted a short yesterday. Obviously, our entry did not get validated, and I might want to long. Just looking to the left, I might want to long to maybe 1474, maybe higher 1484. But it's a quick look. The U.S. dollar is primed for CPI. Tomorrow is a big day for global markets as a focal point. The U.S. dollar. So the Fed is expected to hold policy, but what else might they say? So, it's going to be consolidation until tomorrow. We kind of discussed that. Today's pretty quiet. Nothing really, just a bunch of yellow folders. Tomorrow is pretty crazy. So starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, we have the CPI data all the way to the FOMC press conference at 3:30 p.m. So around six hours of just straight U.S. fundamentals, and then the day quiets off, and then we have Thursday, which is Euro and the UK election. So we're gonna see right now. We're gonna look at pound USD, and we're gonna see it's still rallying, but it's all speculation based, and I told you guys we don't really want to trade any speculation right now because it's very hard to predict and kind of gauge where it's really headed. So gold short just did not happen. We can target a long if we go 50% of a regular position because it is kind of risky with the CPI data within 24 hours from now. But to go long, it's very similar to what we wanted here. We had the break above some nice support / resistance right at 1464, and now we had the retest on this red bearish candle. It is a teardrop candle, so just watch out. This next 4-hour candle, you want it to close above these wicks, and I'll show you guys the exact kind of level we want to look out for. So a bullish closure above, these two wicks right here would be a good indication we're going to 1474 and maybe even higher to 1484. So thankfully we don't use sell stops or sell limits because if you do, you're going to get put in a trade you did not want to enter. So short setup, you can exit. It's not really going to happen until maybe later on Wednesday, but we can look at that then. Our session is at 11 a.m. tomorrow, so we'll be able to discuss the CPI data and see what we can do with that. But for longs, we're just going to target the levels I just spoke of. Entry will be somewhere around here, and we'll have a final target of 1484 and a stop loss pretty damn tight. So if we look at the setup just as it is right now, 4.51, even to here, it's still a pretty good setup of just 2.0. So this is what we're going to be looking out for. I pray to God that it is available on the next hourly closure, 4-hour closure, because I do want us to enter a few trades, because I'm going to tell you this right now. Next week, the markets will really dim down. You might see some movement Monday and Tuesday, but as we get closer and closer to that Christmas week, the week itself, it's just gonna get dwindled down. People are gonna, a lot of the banks are gonna be taking their time off, leaving. Everyone's gonna be flying to their family, etc., etc., etc. It's gonna be, the markets will be at a standstill, and if you ever traded during these conditions, from around December 18th to around the second week of January, you'll see on the 1-hour time frame that candles really aren't doing anything. They're just printing one after the other, just in a kind of a straight line, and there's no point of trading that. So just a word of advice that this is kind of the last week where you can really make a push, I guess, into getting some trades in. But we've been on a pretty good roll since April, so it's not needed for you to force the issue. That's why I'm not really forcing the issue here. I spent a lot of time during the Australian session yesterday looking for a setup, but it was a lot of consolidation, and I didn't want to jeopardize any last minute gains. Any last minute gains just for us to get blown out of the water because of the UK election. So just keeping that in mind. Let me say morning to everyone. We should be live right now. Yep, we're live. So anyways, so that's gold. Just keep an eye on these two levels and wait for that closure, that bearish closure. If we don't get it, and that's a big if we don't get that push above here, I might look for intraday shorts from 1465 all the way down to 1456. Hopefully that is the case. I know gold wants to consolidate. Now let's take a look at pound dollar, which is the main pair for this week, really. As you can see, it's still rallying. So in yesterday's session, we were just below this level. Yeah, we're just below this level, 131,600 or 500 if you want to call it. And I did say this, that on the daily time frame, if you get that closure above this level, we can target 1.35 thousand and then 1.36 300 400 area. Those are my two upside targets for pound dollar. And the 4 hour looks pretty bearish right now. If you look at the recent price action, you can see that multiple attempts to go higher. We finally got that closure. We're currently printing a hammer on this level itself. So if this was any other week, I'd be calling the swing trade of the century for pound dollar long. But we have an election this week, and we have Christmas in 15 days, and the markets will slow down probably in 7 days. So but this is, this, you can't ask for anything better than this. I remember the first time we had this swing trade for pound dollar, and since it was such a actual swing trade with a pretty decent stop loss, I had people enter on their demo account instead, and that trade went, I think, 150 pips into profit. So this could be the case where we make maybe in 4 times that amount, but we could see this happen during the election. A very bullish sentiment could drive this all the way up to here and then there. We'll keep this this setup as is, just for, I guess, educational purposes, so you can see how our analysis played out. But I'm not telling you to enter this. Please do not enter this. This is just for the sake of seeing how our analysis played out, basically. So if you have a demo account, go ahead. It's not going to get blown out or anything, but if you have a demo account, go ahead and enter. Maybe we'll wait for the next 4 hour candle, and I'll let you guys know on Telegram. I'll say demo signal, and then I'll give you the take profit levels for this trade. When I mean demo signal, that means enter on your demo account. Please don't come and whine at me because you entered on your live account. I'm telling you not to enter anything pound related for the rest of the week. Cool. EURUSD was another trade we wanted to enter, and it just didn't really budge too much. As you can see here. Oh yeah, here's our long. Actually, it did, so perfect. We discussed 2 things, actually. We wanted the short earlier, but our long is playing out perfect. Awesome. So I had a short bias on the title of yesterday's video, but during the session I gave a long setup, and you can see all we wanted was a closure above 1.10700. We got that with this candle, and we're up to the races to our target of 1.10100. So we're pretty close to that level. I think we're 25 pips into profit. So thankfully one setup is playing out. This was played out during the London session, so I was asleep, and this is why I can't always do live signal calls because I will be asleep. So I make it very clear on when to enter. You can watch yesterday's session. Just wait for that bullish closure above 1.10700, and I've told you guys before, a candle like this is bullish. There's very little wick to the upside. A nice bullish candle, and you can see, boom. So that's where we're going. And yeah, so we could reach there by the end of maybe the New York session latest. We're just short of 10 pips, 16 pips away from our final take profit. But it's nice to see one trade go our way. USD yen also is starting to go our way, but it's still in some minor consolidation. As you can see here, this is one trade I did enter on my account, but see, it's kind of consolidating. I might get us to exit out. You can see entry 108.64, hasn't really budged since then, went as high as 108.761, so 14 pips. I'll let you guys know on Telegram as well whether we should get out of this trade. I did tell you guys that if I do enter this trade, I'll let you know. So we're not going to use this trade in the pip count unless I say, a few hours from now, enter guys and go long. But definitely a setup to watch out for. It is starting to look a bit bearish though. This one candle in particular right here, with a very long wick to the top side, might be indicating a push down. So do take note of that. And we are looking at potential gold long, so you might see USD and fall. But with that being said, I just wanted to cover the setups we looked at yesterday. CADCHF, I do see a potential to maybe long, and same with USDCHF. I just want to take a quick peek, do a quick analysis, and then let you guys know. So right now it does not look that way. We could actually take a short, but the market's moving pretty quick. Last night when I was looking, we were sitting right at the support. I was thinking of going long, but there may be a short setup now. So look at the daily. You can see we have a lot of wicks in this level. This is why I use the rectangle tool, because we could cover this whole region, but we have some support right at 0.74350, and we're coming pretty close to that, around 9 pips away. And so maybe we can look for long setups from there. You can see it's a pretty strong support. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bounces from that exact level in the past quarter. So we will plot a potential long signal on this, just so you guys have something to keep as reference in case the setup does come valid. Looking to the left, whenever we came down here, we rallied to right around here, 0.75600. So we see that rally once here, another time here, another time here. We went all the way, almost all the way here. So that will be our final take profit. If we come to here, that's great. If we come to here, that's still great. If we go all the way to the top, that's even better. So look for some bullish reaction on this level, on the 4-hour time frame, and the level in question is 0.74350. We're gonna have stop loss at 0.74100, and a first take profit would be at 0.74550. The next one will be 0.74800. And the next one will be right at these highs, 0.74287, followed by the last one at 0.74800. 75600. So let's go to the 4 hour just so you guys can kind of plot this down. Trading view has been laggy. I don't know if it's all the promotions they're running or what, but Jesus. So this is what we can look for over the next few hours maybe, and 4.32 risk reward, not bad at all. So let's wait for that that bounce. We'll have our stop loss right below 0.74186. And at the end of this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to choose your stop loss levels. That way, you can avoid fake outs. And if you look at since April, we haven't really been. I think we've been stopped out at a max of maybe 10 trades, maybe 12 at max. And since April, that's a pretty good track record. And the reason is not only do we choose our setups the right way, we don't overtrade, and number 3, we put our stop loss in good places where, like, if for some reason whatever you want to call it, the market makers or banks try to do a stop hunt or whatever it is, we don't get stopped out because our stops are placed at good places. So I'll cover that after I look at USDCHF. If USDCHF also has a similar setup, then why not take it, right? So USDCHF is melting. Nice, cool. Let's take a peek at the daily time frame. Just take a look, and okay, so it's a similar setup to CADCHF. It's currently sitting at some daily support. Try to zoom in here, and that support is right where my mouse is, 0.98500. We can see a bounce here, once, twice, 3. Looking to the left, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6 bounces in the last 2 quarters from this level, and 4 solid bounces in just this quarter alone. And if you look at each bounce, we go to right around here, right where our blue resistance region is. Right, if I extend it over, you can kind of see. So we get a bounce, we go up to here, we get a bounce, we go up to here, we get a bounce, we go up to here. And so that's the thought process here. This daily candle is pretty bearish. So we're going to wait for the 4-hour time frame to get a bullish confirmation, some sort of bullish reaction off this level, because we can very well kind of push all the way down to this secondary support. You can see that has happened in the past, and so we have to be careful about that because we're kind of counter trend trading here, but setups are kind of sparse right now, so we're trying to find something to just get the week going. So right now the 4-hour candle is pretty bearish. We want the next 4-hour candle to obviously maybe engulf this candle. If you look to the left, in the past we had a hammer and we had a rally. Looking to the left again, we had a bullish engulfing and a rally. So that's what we're looking for in this side. Obviously we shorted before and this is done with. So now we're just going to look at some longs for this trade, and once again our stop loss will be at a pretty good level. So if we get an entry somewhere around here, we'll have an overall target of this blue region, blue resistance region, and our stop loss just a bit below that secondary support level. So let me just pan back to the daily so you guys can see this setup once again. This is what we're targeting, this kind of range right here and reaction. The entry is not now. Please wait for the 4-hour confirm. If I get it while I'm at work, I'll let you guys know, or even when I leave work. But that's how we're going to be trading this week. It's going to be pretty quiet for the rest of the year. And if you're an experienced vet trader, then you're used to this, and you probably aren't even trading right now. But I think it's good for some of the novice traders to experience it firsthand of what it's like to trade during these months. But that'll be the analysis for today's session. The trading week is still young, but now we're going to talk about how to choose your stop loss levels. And so I just did an example on USDCHF, and I'll actually go back to CADCHF to show you guys where to place your stop loss levels so you don't get stopped out by news or any moves by market makers, whatever you want to call them. Just how to avoid that, because we've seen it in the past where you enter a trade, it stops you out by 2 pips, and then it plays out all the way to your full take profit. So how do you avoid that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these past 2 trade ideas just to clean up the chart. And we have a pretty nice clean chart for CADCHF. We have some nice daily levels right here and some hourly levels here. So when we look to choose our stop loss levels, they're usually around significant levels, right? And so, for example, when you take a short from this resistance at 0.75583, right, let's say we take a short from here. You usually want your stop loss, obviously not at 0.75580. You want to give it around 10 to 15 pips of breathing room, depending on what pair it is. So CADCHF doesn't move as much per pip, so you can give it maybe 10 to 15 pips of breathing room. So here we gave it around just 15-ish pips, which is good enough. And our target would be one of these daily support levels. We're going from a daily resistance to an overall target of a daily support, and you can see that trade idea play out nicely. So that's how you keep your support, your stop loss, without getting hurt by any wicks. And you can see a similar thing happen when you go long. So for example, we just discussed a long setup, and we'll do it again. So we're going long, right? And we're going long from this 4-hour support right here, right at 0.74350. What we can do is, when we get our entry around that level, we want to target this daily resistance. Instead of making our support, maybe 10 pips away from that, we can look at what happened in the past. So in the past, when we had a rally from this support, we went as high as up to here, so around 80% of the way to our daily resistance. Then we came back down, and we did not respect this resistance in question. We went to actually the daily support. So for us, in case in case the scenario where price does come down here and then rallies up, we don't want to get stopped out. So in that case, we'll make our stop loss a bit wider. So if this scenario happens out, we're not going to get burnt, and we can still get the profit. So let me show you. So if price decides to rally from this support and goes back up, we're not going to get burnt. Of course, we'll be in some initial drawdown, but that's better than closing in a loss. So this is how you choose your support levels. You choose your key levels, which we do based on our strategy of using our resistance zones and lines, and then based on price action, you find the setup, and then you give breathing room to the levels itself. That way, any news or any spreads that get increased during the closure won't stop you out. So this is our CADCHF idea for the week, and this is how you choose your stop loss levels. So with that being said, I will see you guys all tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern for another live session. And just be safe, guys, because there's a lot of CPI data tomorrow coming out at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So don't risk anything. The year's coming to an end. We've had a great year, so enjoy those profits while you can, because the next few weeks will get pretty slow. So with that being said, we'll be logging off. I'm RP Forex. Have a great day, guys, and peace.